things. So first of all, salaries are a big chunk of SMEs cost,
Yeah.
especially if you're in the service sector. So if you're in the service sector, you don't have so many packaging costs, raw material costs, and all that. A lot of your cost is actually salary costs. So it's a huge chunk. The way it has been structured, well, I guess there's a rationale behind it. But whatever it is, it won't be enough. Most likely it won't be enough because your income is not coming in. So you still have to carry the cost, the full cost. So my advice really is to be transparent. Obviously, your staff know what's happening. Obviously, your staff know you're closed, you're not doing business, you got no revenue. Maybe, hopefully, you have some account receivables to collect, but there's no money coming in. So you just have to be very transparent and bring up issues like we have to take a salary cut. And obviously, you want to do a vertical, what do you call a inverted pyramid. So the guys at the top, the senior management and all that, the guys who are earning 8,000 and above, those guys will maybe take a bigger chunk, but everybody has to take a hit. And if you have been building a good communication flow with your team and you really have a solid team and the culture in your company is very good, then people want to stay behind and sacrifice to help everybody else so that people don't get out of work, But the key thing here is to communicate and communicate and communicate with the whole team and go back to the purpose of your business, the vision for your business, the mission and the core values that you have, and try to protect as many jobs as you can. But sometimes that's just not possible. And when the crunch comes, you just have to take the hard decisions. But you have to explain it to the team and be very transparent and tell them, look, this is the situation. And if that is the situation, after you do your scenario planning and you think, no way we're going to get through this in 6 months or whatever, you're going to take a hit. You better take that hit one time rather than take a smaller hit every 3 months. That is going to dampen morale even more. So if you need to take a hit, take a big hit and then recover from that. If you need to take a pay cut, take the pay cut up front, but promise that you will reinstate the pay once things recover, and promise that you will recompensate them through bonuses once things recover. So that's very important. And you got to have a very listening ear, So there are no, if people put up their hand, boss, I got a question. I don't know whether I will be on the list of people you're going to not get a job. So you got to be very transparent, and sometimes you have to see them one-to-one and listen to their issues, listen to their problems. But you got to come across as a very fair business owner, boss, leader, and you also have to command confidence that we will get through this together. So those would be some of my tips with regards to employment situation. I just want to go back to your previous question about ways to generate or protect cash flow. So the obvious ones obviously are to cut as much cost as you can, and we just talked about that, including your salary cuts. And the other one is, of course, to free up your stocks, convert your inventory into cash as much as possible by offering discounts, by doing lelong sale, by taking advance deposits for advance orders, whatever it is. But the third one, which many people neglect, is how can we generate new revenue sources? And what I mean by that is I want to illustrate with 2 examples. So there's a very famous small hotel resort, maybe has about 40-50 rooms in Europe, and when this happened in their country 3-4 weeks ago, everybody canceled their bookings for weddings. So here is a wedding resort that generates 70 to 80% of their revenue on hosting weddings for wedding couples, and everybody cancels because nobody wants to have their wedding now, and it's canceled for the whole year. How is that bad? When you have thousands of people dying, you really cancel the whole year. I'll get married another day, another year. So imagine the impact of that. So they went to a friend of mine who's also a coach, and we are connected. So we advised them basically, look at the last 10, 15 years of your past wedding ceremonies, those customers that you have on record. And this guy had a database of like 1,000 over people who got married in their resort. And when we went through the records, we found that, hey, a lot of these guys complimented the resort on their beautiful garden and all that, but also complimented on the cheese and the jam that was served during their meal break. And so what they did was they did a deal, they did some kind of partnership deal with the supplier of that wonderful cheese and jam, and supplied it to their database, and they got a commission in that. So that's one way to generate new revenue. Another thing you can do, and closer to home, this is a Malaysian situation where, at one time the masks were going for, how much was it? I think the government said minimum price is $2, right?
Yeah.
And then now, I guess everybody brought in the supply, so it's come down to 150 or something for 50 masks, or I can't remember, but it's some big figure lah. And now, because the supply is adjusted back to normal, most places you can get your box of masks for about 75 ringgit. But there was a very clever, lesser than that. There was a very clever supermarket who, when people were selling at 75 for a box of 50, he put out an advertisement online and said, our box of masks, same grade, same quality, branded, is only 49 ringgit. So obviously people, of course, within 10-kilometer radius, I can imagine if that supermarket is within your 10-kilometer radius, probably want to go over there. So these are ways that you can bring business into your business, even if you're retail. So whatever business you're in, it just calls for some creativity, some innovative thinking to see how you can generate new revenue. Yeah. So we can even translate this into business models. So for example, you're a publisher, KK. And as a publisher, you would rely on advertising to come into your publications. But perhaps you see a circulation drop these days because not many people are going out there to newsstands to buy them.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got to think about how can I get a subscription-based model working instead. So I deliver the magazine to their house, even if they don't buy it from the newsstand. So things like that, no?
True.
So these are examples that I can give. So I hope that helps a few people.
Of course.